Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Coach Rock here from Revenge Basketball, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you a few tips to help you become a better point guard. So these are going to be tips that all point guards should really take into account if they want to become better on the court. I know a lot of you guys that watch my videos are point guards, so I wanted to do this video specifically for you. If you're not a point guard, you want me to do a video on another position, be sure to comment down below and I'll give you any tips that I may have. So the first thing when it comes to being a great point guard, especially in today's game, is you have to be able to shoot the basketball. I mean, unless you're somebody that's stupid athletic like John Wall, you're not really going to be able to get away with not being able to shoot the basketball well, especially from three. Because if you could shoot the ball well from three, it opens up your entire game because defenders now have to guard you out there. You're a threat every time the ball's in your hand. As soon as you come across half court and you're setting up the offense, if nobody's guarding you, you can pull that and you can score. So shooting the basketball, we know not only is it big, it's big for any position, but especially a point guard. Think about some of the best point guards in the game. They're great shooters. Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard, Trae Young, Luka Doncic, like all these guys, even though their games are different, they all shoot the ball pretty good from three-point range. All right, now of course you have the outliers like a Russell Westbrook, who's not the best three-point shooter, but guess what? He's a freak athletically. And unless you have that type of athletic ability, you're not really going to be able to get far if you can't shoot the ball well. All right. And there's a reason why a lot of times in the playoffs, his game isn't as effective because the defense changes and you don't get away with as much stuff. So that's nothing to take any shots. Russell Westbrook is a great player, but it just goes to show you have to be able to shoot the ball well, especially if you're not athletic. So that's the first tip, is to be able to shoot the basketball well, especially from the three-point range and the foul line too, because in crunch time situations, you don't want to be the player that the coach, if you're the best ball handler, the best point guard on your team, you want to be in those crunch time moments, but you can't be in there if, you can't make free throws down the stretch. The coach is going to have to take out his best ball handler and put in somebody who shoots free throws better, and that could end up costing your team in the long run. So make sure you can shoot the basketball well, all facets of the game. We'll come back to shooting in a second, but the second tip I want to tell you to become a great point guard is to be able to handle the basketball well. This is obvious, all right? I'm not going to spend too much time on this. You have to be able to dribble the ball. You have to be able to take care of the basketball. It's not just about having the crazy crossovers and all that stuff. It's about being able to control the game, knowing when to push, knowing when to slow down. But all that we'll see kind of gets into IQ, but it also gets into your handles. You can't push the ball if you can't handle the ball. You can't set up an offense and slow down the game if you can't handle the ball. If defense presses you and you can't handle that, then it's going to be hard for you to set up the offense, hard for you to run the show. So you have to be able to handle the ball. Again, we have a ton of videos on this channel, not only for shooting, but also for ball handling as well. We just did a video recently on a ball handling warm-up and finisher that you can do just on the wall. Like, that's the cool thing about ball handling. You don't even need a hoop. You can go in your basement, you can go in the garage. When I was younger, I used to just dribble in the basement all day, every day. Like, I would set up cones in the basement. I would do all types of stuff. But you can do that in the garage. You can just go outside and dribble. Again, all you need is a basketball. Don't even need a hoop. So dribbling, very, very important. And it's one of the easiest things to improve on. So definitely work on your handles. Now, number three, I mentioned this a little, is IQ. You want to have a good IQ in basketball. So you want to be able to know, you don't only want to know, like when your team's running plays, you don't only want to know your position, but you want to know everybody's position on the court. Like, you want to have that type of understanding of your offense. You want to know what the other team's defense is, what the other team's offense is. A good way to improve your IQ is watching footage on yourself of your own team playing. If you're playing like in a real league, have your parents film the game, in school, I mean, they will film all the games for you, especially once you get to high school and you'll watch film, but definitely become a student of the game. Some of the greatest players of all time, like Kobe Bryant, I mean, the best players sit and they study and they watch, and that's one way to improve your IQ. Another way to improve your IQ, believe it or not, is being able to, we talked about in tip number 2, dribble the basketball well. Because if you could dribble the basketball well, you don't even have to worry about dribbling, which means you can get your eyes up faster, you can find teammates faster, you can focus on other things because you're not sitting here trying to focus on dribbling. So you know where your teammates are going, you're going to know where the defense is at. So a big part of having a better IQ on the court is by being able to handle the basketball. And that's why I kind of mixed good IQ and handles together. Because again, good IQ is knowing when to push the ball, when to slow it down and set up an offense. When your handles are tight, you don't have to worry about anything. You can fully focus on doing what your team needs you to do to win the game. All right, so far we've covered shooting, ball handling, and IQ. Now the next thing is having a good floater mid-range game, and it kind of gets lost. I talked about shooting before, but I think floaters are a little different. Like, you wouldn't put those in the category of actually shooting. But again, the best players that I mentioned before that can shoot the ball well, they can also finish around the basket, and they're good with floaters. Because what happens when you start shooting well and you have good handles, defenders are running at you, but it's easy to beat them. So if you show that you have a good floater game, a good mid-range game, now you're pretty much unguardable. And then the fact that you can make free throws, they can't just foul you. So you can see how all of these come together to be a great point guard, right? So make sure that you can hit floaters, make sure you can finish around the rim, make sure you're crafty around the rim. But definitely with the floater game, because the higher you go up in a level, the harder it's going to be to get all the way to the rim. Because you might go from middle school playing people your size, and let's say you're good enough to be a freshman like on varsity, you might go from playing kids your height and barely taller to now you're playing guys that might be 6'8", 6'10". So you're not going to be able to just get to the lane. You know, you'll probably get your shot pinned, blocked. So that's when you want to have a good floater game, good mid-range pull-up, and still be able to score in the paint. Because as a guard, you want to get to this lane. I know we talked about shooting earlier. You want to have a great shot, but watch guys like Chris Paul. They kill defenses by getting into this elbow area, the lane area. And why does he kill them? Because when he gets in those areas, he's very efficient with pull-ups and floaters. So if you're a defender, you have to guard him at that area, which means you're going to have open teammates. And I mean, that's easy assists all day. And the last tip that I'll give you is play defense and conditioning. So I think those two go together, because you can't play good defense if you're not in condition. And if you're in good condition, it's easy to play good defense, right? So make sure you're in the best shape on the team. Like, if you're a point guard, you should be faster than everybody. You should be winning sprints. You shouldn't be having big guys beat you, unless you just have a big guy on your team that's just a crazy athlete and he can just cover so much ground. But for the most part, if you're a point guard, you want to be winning sprints. You want to be in the best shape on your team. And you want to be the type of point guard that other point guards hate playing against. You want to be that pesky defender. I'm not saying you got to guard full court the whole game, but whenever you're playing defense, you want the other player to know that you're there. You want him to think about you, because when that happens, it makes your game easier, because he's thinking so much, he's trying so hard on offense. When you get the ball, if you're in good shape, again, we talked about shape and defense. If you're in good shape and he's not, then not only do you tire him out when you're playing him on defense and he's on offense, but vice versa. When you got the ball, he's going to be tired, and he's going to be very vulnerable for you to be able to beat, for you to be able to score on, for you to be able to just dominate every game. So I'll tell you right now, if you're a point guard that you can score, but you can also lock up the other guy, like, you will dominate every single game, especially when you have everything we talked about today. So again, let's quickly recap everything we talked about that you need to be a great point guard. If you want to be a great point guard, you need to be able to shoot the ball well, right? From three-point range, from the free throw line. You want to be able to handle the basketball well, and we have plenty of drills on this channel to help you with your shooting, your ball handling. You have to have good IQ. And good IQ comes from studying, from just learning the game, studying your own footage, and also getting better handles. Because the less you have to think about dribbling, the more you can focus on where your teammates are, what the defense is doing, and things like that. Next, you want to have a good mid-range game, floater game. You want to be a threat from everywhere on the court. You want to be a good finisher, but like I said, as you get higher up, it's going to be harder to get to the rim. So you're going to have those floaters. And that's really going to help you score more points in the lane and cause havoc when you drive to the paint. And then last but not least, you want to play good defense. You want to be in good condition, because good condition equals you'll be able to be a better defender. Just because you're in good shape, it doesn't mean you'll be a great defender, but it's easier, because if you're not in shape, there's no way you can get down low and play defense. If you're a point guard and you found this video helpful and you're looking to take your game to the next level, I have a free training for you where I'll show you 3 secrets that will help you become a bigger threat and a better player on the court. So just click the first link in the comments. I'll pin it there for you, or that link will also be in the description for you. You can click the link, just look down right in the description. It'll be the first link there. Click that link, that'll take you to the free training. If you found the video helpful, do me a big favor, hit the thumbs up for me. Comment below, let me know what else you need help with. Last but not least, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you never miss another video. Until next time, I'll see you then.